AKAPaders, welcome to episode 458 of AKAPad's Audio Audacity Podcast. That is me, Peter A. DeLuca, aka the Spicy Taco, Ultron's best friend, the pop culture pope, the world sketchbook champion, the creator, me, of Uzi Susie and Trial by Fire. We are I love it. 458 episodes deep in this journey. And it really is a journey because this time last week, I was stuck a 55 Uber ride away. I was stuck in the rain after seeing Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. I did a little bit of hooky and saw the movie during the business day. Saw it roughly between 1 and 3 o'clock, and then rushed out of the theater, rushed into Panera Bread to answer emails, do some design work, and send off some files. And at that point, I had, maybe 90 minutes left in my day, and my whole idea was to get back here to the AKAPad studio so I can, record and do wonderful content for all of you people. I love you all. And these things trigger in me. It's a extrapolation. We'll say it. Extrapolation. I can't just sit down and do an episode of the Multiverse of Madness. I need to establish a line. And a little bit of that line is we spoke about it in our last episode, Hawkeye. The internet ruins everything. It does it well. It's like an ICBM missile. Very accurately, by the way. And it disrupts our vision, our take, our outlook, our expectations. All of these things the internet destroys. Now, the stuff is also monetized, these positions, we'll call it. So people are just incentivized to repeat bad ideas, bad takes, bad information. So Moon Knight episode 6 drops. Now keep in mind, I've roughly seen Moon Knight episodes 1, 2, 3, and 6. Parts of 4 and parts of 5. Now, you might be like, Pete, you said that with Hawkeye. How do you recommend a show if you don't watch every single episode? Well, because every episode should exist. Like every movie should exist. Like every novel in a series. Yes, you should be able to pick up Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Read that, love it, enjoy it, and then go read The Hobbit. And you're like, Pete, this is madness. No. You're mad thinking everything needs to be in order all the time. You can jump around. This is the antithesis of content creation. I do this even in my own show. It's like every single episode I need to redo my mission statement, reintroduce myself. Every episode is it really though? Am I just contradicting myself? God damn it, I could be. Anyway, so what's the point I'm getting at? Moon Knight drops, then Doctor Strange comes out. At that point, I haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home. And then Loki episode 6. WandaVision, I roughly went through that series twice. I said that with my WandaVision episode. So Moon Knight comes and goes. And it just looks like, just from like attraction. Now, a crazy thing happened with Moon Knight. It's linked to this insane valuation of the Moon Knight comic book first appearance in Werewolf by Night. The cost of that comic alone, insane. So this book rises. You got to stick with me here a little bit. The book goes up in value with this anticipation that when Moon Knight gets on film, when Moon Knight gets on film, he's going to be like a Deadpool-driven character. He's going to pop like Deadpool. He's the Marvel Universe's version of the Dark Knight, of Batman. Mark Spector or whoever is equal to Bruce Wayne. So the show comes and goes, and just based on what happens on eBay, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think people have already forgotten about this series, and that doesn't mean the series is good or bad. I think this show is, and I'm just like organizing some of my thoughts here. Let me get some drink, everyone. I'm drinking some fruit punch Truly for hard seltzer. Fruit punch Truly is wonderful. Sorry, had to wet my whistle there. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how accurate the Moon Knight TV show is to the comics. My initial take, I'll say this, my initial take was disappointment, just because I felt like episode 6 didn't end in an oomph, didn't end with like a drop kick. It ended with a little bit of a cliffhanger, another personality emerging from the character. And if you don't know what they're doing with, they're really taking this approach. I believe it's Jeff Lemire. They're taking his approach where it's almost like Moon Knight is split personality, and there's multiple split personalities within one entity, which is this earthbound alter ego. And each of those split personalities has a form of Moon Knight attached to it. So it's a thrilling idea, and it's a thrilling position for an actor, which is why Oscar Isaacson, right? Poe Dameron, Apocalypse, that guy. You know, it's meaty. It's great. It's fun. It's fun for an actor to get into this type of role. It's not a comic book role. It's a role. This is why you go to acting school. So you can just be on screen and literally fill it up with yourself. Be on screen and fill it up with you. This is multiplicity to its finest. So, people, you have to come in with a certain level of respect to the approach. And, you gotta give Marvel Studios credit, because they swung for the fences in this. And where they missed was, it literally was an MCU movie. It's an MCU movie, or MCU Disney Plus television series or miniseries. And because of that, again, we pull in some expectations from the internet. And so we're watching it like week to week, and there's like an industry surrounding the analysis of slow drops like this. The analysis along the way, and we saw this early with WandaVision. It destroys. WandaVision was supposed to have Mephisto, didn't have Mephisto, and it destroyed this type of content drip. Now, there's still people, doing their own same thing. Every episode of Moon Knight to drop, that they have theories. I don't know. I mean, that's just too much. Like, could you imagine if this type of stuff existed with Battlestar Galactica, the remake series, and Lost? And say what you want about the final season of Lost, but the final season of Lost was huge because of like this level of anticipation and mystery about that show. And it pleased people and it displeased some people. Usually final seasons do that. So, like you can't win with a final season. You really can't. So these people, it's like, like you have to make a bet and you make a show knowing what the internet's going to do. And then we get Moon Knight. We get Moon Knight that is deep in Egyptian mythology. It's deep in Egyptian lore. We have the origin of a female superhero who is very cool, very athletic. She just kicks butt, saves our hero a couple times. And then, like, we get two things. Like, Moon Knight doesn't have to be built up to a certain level because we know Moon Knight. And, like, there is a little bit of a shift within the show where this female saves Moon Knight and his alter ego more than one time. It becomes like this, it's almost like a running gag. But which is fine. Like we can have this and we can build it up to establish a new character. Like these are some of the criticisms where they say, like, don't, like just create new characters if you want more females and whatever. Or gender swap. Like, if you gender swap a C-list or D-list character, like, just for example, Pyro from the Mutant Liberation Front of the X-Men, does it matter if Pyro is a white male or a turtle? It doesn't matter. Some characters are sacred cows, and it does. But so we get it. For me, Moon Knight is interesting enough to watch a few times. It's still initially disappointing because I was looking for a really big hook at the end. I felt like it's almost like they didn't believe in their own material. They didn't take a chance. I would have, but like you take a chance, you waste 6 hours. Why? It doesn't matter. Like Moon Knight has had a level of anticipation. I'm not sure what else is left for them to adapt. Like once you do Moon Knight, I think you're done adapting things, Marvel, once you have Moon Knight. Because I don't know who cares about She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, right? So I just feel like the show is worth paying attention to because they tried a lot. And show to show, it's interesting, it's fun. It's there's a little bit of espionage. Walter or Oscar Isaacson plays like a lovable derf. There's payoffs. Like he's like the star of the show. He's the audience. We're seeing everything through his eyes. And then we do have the Egyptian lore, which is very well done. Now, if we add it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it makes no sense. It makes no sense on like a water cooler sense because we're dealing with gods and we have the internals and then we have convergence and then we have broken timelines and then we have the God Butcher coming and Odin, like where's Odin factor in? And there's no stated hierarchy of the gods. And that's a big problem if you watch everything somewhat in a chronological order. We lose the sight of the hierarchy of power within the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Moon Knight. But if we watch it for what it is, it's ballsy, it's interesting, it's visual, it's there. It's entertainment. If we bring our own ideas into the fold and project what we want Moon Knight to be, we're thoroughly disappointed. And with that, I'm out of here. Next episode, where I'm going to answer episode 459. What is the MCU?